shoot, we are good.
Streaming 24/7.
Bold Moves Radio.
Africa, nakupenda sana ngo. Africa, ladies and gentlemen, you know, by now we have the drill. When you hear that sound, you know that you are joining the African experience with me, Dr. Hlami Ngwenya, and this is Bold Move Radio. You know, we are talking to people who are actually taking bold steps. You know, I'm always not alone. I'm with my co-host, my beautiful, beautiful co-host, my partner in crime, actually, Mandla Aventina Mabunda. Aventina, Mandla, good evening, my sister.
Evening, Doc. Evening, Doc. Nice to see you. How are you? Where are you in the world? You always traveling all over this world.
Oh no, this time around, I'm in Guyana. You know, like in the past, week or maybe 2 weeks, we literally drove from Cape Town to Guyana, over 2,000 kilometers, and I just love that. You know, at least, you know, not flying, but you know, driving. We had a stop in Pretoria, and yeah, it's beautiful. Normally, Guyana is very hot, but we are fine. It's not very hot. And today I did something very interesting. I visited the school where the school where I actually started my primary, Magangeni Primary School at Malamdela. Oh, I think we should invite them on the show because they are doing, you know, excellent work. But anyway, it's not about, you know, Magangeni. It's not about me. I'm so excited about the guest that we are having tonight. I'm like looking at the work that they're doing, and I'm like, wow, wow, wow. If in this country we are able to actually do that, I think this country has a bright future. Thank you so much, Mandla, for connecting us with, you know, the people that, you know, we are profiling, you know, in the recent past, you know, starting from last week and all that. I'll give you, you know, the honors to actually introduce our guests for tonight.
No, thanks, Doc. But you know, without further ado, I'm not going to say much, but we'll allow our guest of honor to actually introduce themselves and tell us the company name and what is it that they do. Then we will take it from there.
Good evening, African Experience family. Firstly, thank you for the invite. Such an honor and a pleasure. Good evening to my teacher, my mentor, Usis Mandla, right there as well. Yeah, because I'm here because of her as well. So yeah, in a nutshell, guys, by company name, we are Lifeway Impato Brands. So we are a food manufacturing entity and as well as beverage entity. So currently, today, we in the coaching supply, we are producing 100% fruit juice brand called Loxion Foods, also known by Loxion Foods Beverages. So, you know, it's small step foundations, you know, it's actually our second company. My partner, I'm sure, will come in, you know, later on. We're entrepreneurs at heart. So, started with a merchandising agency. I think 5 or 6 years back, it didn't work out. So after Lungelo worked for a dairy company, he hit me up. He came and said, "First, we petty receipt. Mind you, team." So I was like, hey, this industry is saturated but to get you. So what do we do? How do we distinguish ourselves? So that's how the name Loxion Fruits was born. So we used Asekasi was born out of that name. So I wanted to be very much controversial so people can ask questions. IBV is Loxion. So you'll ask more questions and you can tell the beautiful story behind it. So yeah, we are Lifeway Impato Brands in short, a food manufacturing entity, a brand, a food and beverage brand company.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, we will come back, you know, to what inspired, you know, the name, because I look at it and I'm Loxion and Loxion. You know, when we're writing these, I was asking my daughter, please, you know, write, you know, because I wanted to take your contact details. And then she asked me,
Yeah.
should I read it in Tsonga or in English? I'm like, no, it's just Loxion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whichever one.
Yeah, no, I like it, in Tsonga because, in
Yeah.
Tsonga X is
Yeah.
she. So Loxion, it's really, really,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
It resonates. Yeah.
So, okay. So you were telling us just in the nutshell, your brand and all that. But
Yeah.
on the show, what we do, we want to talk about the person behind, the brand before we even come
Okay.
to the brand, because a lot of people think when people have made it, they were born with, those opportunities. And sometimes they don't know that people are coming from humble beginnings. They,
Yeah.
push boundaries and
Yeah.
all that. Who is Patrick? Where do you come from? How would you define where your roots are?
Oh, wow. That's a deep question. All right. Patrick is born, bred, and raised in the streets of Alexandra Township. So from early days, I went to, I think in Balfour, Check. I moved to Midrand. I went to Midrand High School. I came back to Loxion when my mom and dad had a divorce. So from then after matric, I worked, and through work, well, I like saying my connection is quite godly. So I'm connected to God. So one day I was before I met Lungelo in business. So one day I was sitting, I think outside of a merchandising place where I was working. And I was thinking to myself, Nkulunkulu has become a failure. And then God just said to me, lift up your head, man. I'm saying to you, you can own all these things. You can own a merchandising agent. So I think that entrepreneurship thing was in my heart and spirit. So, and then from there, I while working, I studied marketing, a bit of marketing. I still want to do a degree in it. So on the side, besides working, the entrepreneurship thing was in me. So I've always had it. Then I was fortunate enough that while I was working in merchandising, I met Lungelo. He also had the very same spirit. We met in an aisle, we were merchandising one of the pharmaceuticals. And we sat down, on a bench and said, man, how about we start a company, man? How about we go into entrepreneurship? Let's go learn this thing in this journey. So I think that's how it came about, my humble beginnings. So I've always said this entrepreneurship thing and business thing, though yet the vision was not yet clear. God was about to clear it and make it more clearer. So, and I believe there's never coincidence, because me and Mingele, we met at that space at that right time. We're both merchandisers in different fields, and we met there. We had a divine connection there for entrepreneurship. And so that's how the whole journey of entrepreneurship between us just gave birth to itself. But me, humble beginnings. I come from the streets of Alexandra, born there. Grew up here. Learning a lot. I always used to look at our mom about things, the guys. I was always fascinated, and I think I've always loved sales. Because I'm a person that likes speaking so much. So sales was always in me. So then the vision grew, and the whole entrepreneurship idea and the vision it blossomed out. So I think that's my journey, in a nutshell, of who Patrick is. He's an entrepreneur at heart and by birth, from the streets of Alexander, the dusty streets of Marot. Yeah.
Wow, this is so interesting. I also get to know more of you, that you're not just Jay, yeah, but you're actually a deep person, which is quite interesting. Now, when I'm listening to you and where you started, both you and Lungelo were merchandisers, and you mentioned pharmaceutical space. Now, fast track to 2024, you are doing Loxion fruit beverages. That is agro processing. That is food and beverage. What inspired that move from pharmaceuticals, which you were familiar with, to now making beverages? Yeah.
No, thank you. Thank you for the question, Smandla. So I'll go back to the aisle again. So, and the power of the mouth is very powerful. I must just throw that in. I remember Nolungela, I was telling him this other time, basically to 20 order in one of the spas that we supply. And we were both merchandising, and we're like, you know what? The time, I think it was our last year, we were about to depart. I was like, you know what, man? If this thing doesn't work out, to have a merchandising agent, let's create our own products. So we left it there. A year later, I think 2018, 19, That's when he found my numbers and he called me up, but man, I can make juice. So how about we go into the space? So then fast track, now we've got this product. We know that how through these ingredients juices can be made, you know. So now the thing is we are at secondary level producing, you know. So meaning we are buying from a third party. So fortunate enough, and you know why I'll keep mentioning God as well, is that when God is with you, you know, he connects the dots. He'll give you something, but along the way, you have to connect. Relationships are birthed, you know. So along our way, we went into programs with stakeholders. Sis Manda, you knowing being one of our stakeholders, our teacher. So we met the city of Johannesburg. Our sis talk, I think they've got a food chain resilient program there. So that also with agriculture, the department, Gauteng Agriculture Department, they were also our stakeholders. They came on board. The DTIC as one of our stakeholders. So now this opened our mind, enlarging us from, okay, now we've got a secondary product where we source it from. So now how do we move our and shift in our mind into primary production? So agro-processing space, that's how it was born. Though we never knew much about it, but we're keen to make sure that one day we also need to cut off, you know, the middleman and go directly into, you know, umjala, you know, we want to harvest those oranges, we want to harvest those fruits, you know, we want to have a plantation, that plantation where we can have our own very own product from scratch, you know, we have our own machinery, because end of the day, all of us as young black entrepreneurs especially, we need to own the value chain. We can't always be at a space where source, and we know very most of the people we're sourcing for, it's our other brothers, you know. So we need to make sure that we come into a space, Nati, where we can start the product from ground, you know. Healthy fruit, we can squeeze it out, you know, through the machines we'll have in the value chain, you know, process it and make it a fully fledged product, you know, without having a third party so taking ingredients. So I think that's what pushed us to move into the agro-processing space, you know. It gave us that mindset, and on top of that, even in job creation, you know, we know that that space where we have a plant, we can actually employ more people, you know. We can have people who pick up the oranges, you know. People are working in the processing space, just to answer it in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Well, that is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. What I'm hearing, I look at you, you're a young, you know, young and all that. And a lot of people will tell you that young people are not interested in agriculture. And I see you finding your niche in agriculture, and you came through the agro processing, and now you begin to see what else you could do, and now you're interested in the primary production. I think for me, that is very, very interesting. And one thing that I also picked, you know, with your story, because I call myself, you know, the professional Mam Gobozi, you know, because yes, before we profile somebody, we go through their social media platform, we really do the Mam Gobozi stuff and really look at the things. And when Mandla shared, you know, your contact details, and I went online and I'm like, no, man, Mandla, I don't think, you know, do you think, you know, this has been produced by somebody who looked like me? He said, yes.
Yeah.
Like, yo, I am so impressed, and I have hope for this country. Honestly, I have hope for this country. And we'll be showing some of, you know, the products, because this is really, really, really very interesting. But before we show the products, I want to go back to something that we have said. You keep on saying, Sis Mandla, my mentor and all that. How do you think has been the role of mentorship in where you are today? What was the role of mentorship?
Okay. I didn't hear from the first part, but I can just speak on the mentor part. Yeah, you know, as entrepreneurs, you know, most of us, you know, you can carry the gift, but every gift needs management. So you can have an idea, you know, but you don't know the industries. You know, you don't know anything about finances. You don't know value chain. Where does it start? You know, you don't know suppliers, you know, there's so much, you know, you don't know marketing, you know, break-even analysis in finances. So mentorship is key. It's fundamentally important. We learn every day. I'll mention this mother because we're in the food bev CETA program with her. She's our facilitator, And in a space of a year, she has taught us so much. Like my mind is bubbled. It's like it's wide open, worse. I'm even more sharpened. So mentorship is very crucial. If ever you're an up and coming entrepreneur, if you're going to survive, it's like Baghdad is a small fish you are thrown into the sea where there are sharks, there are whales, and you just this little, and you have no coach, you have no teacher, It's like, remember those old karate movie kid, that karate kid, there's always Mr. Miyagi. So every student needs a teacher, and then I'm so thankful so much that, we have so many stakeholders, including our sis Mandla, they are with us on this journey, we've got people our City of Johannesburg, our sis Tor, we've got people in the DTIC, NYDA. So, and they always make sure that they are behind us, they give us and equip us so much, so much capacity and knowledge and information that so we can survive. Because I mean, one day, to mention these big names, we want to compete. Nabo Tiger Brands, Pioneer Foods. Those are big guys with big budgets and big money. Abo Nestle, So we also need to be ready for when the storm comes, So mentorship is key. It's very, very important.
Wow. Yo, Doc, this is humbling to sit here and listen to Patrick say all these things because they resonate 100% with me and where we come from with our mentorship program. And to see it play out now live, it's very humbling. We have a comment from Tsepang Shilwani. He's saying, very inspiring story, Patrick. So there are people listening on YouTube. There are people watching on Facebook Live. So people are really expressing their fascination, their inspiration on what you guys are doing.
Wow.
So, we need to go on an ad break. And then when we come back, we will hear more about Loxion Fruits Beverage. Please do not move. Stay where you are. We'll be back shortly.
Okay.
Are you ready for the ultimate dietary powerhouse? Look no further than Masana Dietitian's Nutro Boost. Our scientifically formulated low GI food is designed to give you the boost you need to fuel your body and reach your health goals. With NutriBoost, you have the flexibility to enjoy it as a high-fiber cereal or a satisfying shake. Simply mix it with water and indulge in the mouth-watering flavors that we have to offer. But that's not all. NutriBoost is packed with essential nutrients that are beneficial for your overall well-being. Enriched with 20 immune-boosting vitamins and minerals, it's a convenient and effective way to support your immune system. And here's the best part. NutriBoost is gluten-free, egg-free, and high in omega-3, making it suitable for those with dietary restrictions or allergies. Need an energy boost? NutriBoost has you covered. It's high in energy and protein, providing you with the fuel you need to power through your day. Whether it's a busy morning or an intense workout session, say goodbye to midday slumps and hello to sustained energy with NutriBoost. Try today and experience the difference. For orders or to become a distributor, contact us on the following details.
Wow, welcome back. This is the African Experience. You are with me, Dr. Hlami Ngwenya. I'm not alone. I'm with my beautiful co-host, Aventina Mabunda. We are talking to this inspiring young man, Patrick Thokkie. I mean, I'm listening to him. He is talking about, him being an entrepreneur and all that. And I can feel that, from his voice, the passion and all that. And we're talking anything and everything, Loxion, beverage, fruits and beverages and things like that. Before we went on an ad break, he was telling us about what inspired them and all that. But now I want to pick it from there. Why the name Loxion Fruits and Beverage? What inspired the name and what kind of the products? What are some of the products that we are producing? Patrick? Okay. Patrick. Okay, DJ Messi, maybe just, show some of the pictures of some of the products, that Patrick and the team are actually producing, because this is really, really, really beautiful. And while Patrick is really trying to sort, his connection back. Okay. Mandla, Patrick was talking about mentorship and all that, and I'm looking at this branding. Look at that, 100% fruit juice blend.
Yeah.
What is your take?
So, Doc, the program that he's talking about is really very intensive. So it takes you from inception of starting a business by you mastering yourself. We call it self-mastery, and that is in what we call Skills Program 1, where we fine-tune people's communication. Who do you say you are as a business person? That's how it starts. And it moves to now compliance, legal compliance, all the health regulations, all the red tape that you need to be aware of when you are in this food and beverage sector. So when you see branding like that, for some or most of the people that are in that program, it's because now they have heightened understanding of what it means and the mileage you need to take from having a good quality systems of manufacturing and now presenting a very beautiful, high quality packaged product to your customers. So all that you see here is the understanding behind what it takes. Like he said, he mentioned something that I like very much. He said, talent needs to be managed. Yes. So having a skill to bake, it's not enough. Having a skill to extract juice from a fruit is not enough. You need to understand the logistics behind. And those are some of the things that you see in front of us here. And I so wish he could quickly connect back on so that he can take us through some of this and some of the labeling, what inspired that and what made them move from this to that. That would be lovely to just listen to him going through this and taking us through all this. Patrick, are you back?
Patrick, you have to unmute. Manda, this is so beautiful. I'm looking at the quality of the branding. If you had not said anything about Loxion and all that, I mean, I'm looking at the juice and I'm like, it could be, something from, some of, those top, a supermarket, that people go to. And this is so, so beautiful. Patrick, we're busy, showcasing, some of, the products. DJ Messi, put, those products, because I want Patrick to speak to those products and the branding and the quality that I'm actually seeing there. DJ Messi, put, some more pictures there. Yeah, maybe while we are getting those pictures, why the name Loxion? What inspired it?
Okay, I'm unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I remember again, 2019, Lungelo was working somewhere else. I was working another place, and I was in Mpumalanga with work. So we were sitting and we were talking on the phone. And then, look, here's the juice. How do we stand out? How do we tell our story? And then we said, let's write the Western names. City Watwati, city fruits at no, man. We need something that tells our story. We need to talk about us, especially dreamers that come from Loxion, so Loxion Fruits was birthed, though Loxion does exist from another brand, but we had to go with a name that would tell a story, such a Loxion with the, Ekasi, anything can come out of it, it's not always good, it's something which is bad, where, we always look through a survey that lends with the high unemployment, we're always the guinea pigs, we're always the studies, but we're like, look, and the fascinating thing is that when we started operating fully, Corona hit, we lost work. He lost his job, I lost his job in 2020. So, it's like God swept us off our feet and removed from the comfort zone. You have a vision that's giving you some juice and a name brand that represents Loxion. It represents Umama Sokone Lapano, things I'm a veggie, My brother who's out there who takes some Snoopy shoes, in the hawkers, our taxi driver, what you saying, anyone who's from us, wanted to represent our own people because most of the market and the big names we know, for me, it represents another culture, a group of people, So we also wanted as a people to represent our own self, with the when it succeeds and it goes global. So imagine you're Loxion, they call this thing. We'll tell them the story. It's a Jews that come from Africa and South Africa in the streets, in the projects, in the township. So that's how we positioned ourselves with the name Loxion, because our is what's happening, And then on behind the bottle, there's where it tells the story. A bit. You wrote the story that the designer, can you change it, just shift and just write our bit of a story. So now people, when they drink it and you have time in a text, we pay a move, you learn the story, almost learn to be a Loxion, where I come from. So anything is possible.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's actually very interesting to sit and hear the story. And I wish Ulungelo could have been part of this narrative,
Hey.
because I think you guys, go world, but anyway, it is what it is. So now we want to know more about you, Jenny. You're very good in narrating your story. Now you have a brand. Now you have built yourself a network from the officials within the city of Joburg, within their different food resilience program, the DTI, CEDA, Wakanda, all those things. Now, from there, how has that been for you? What's the importance of forming that network, and what has that network resulted in so far?
Oh, wow. This is one it's deep, but I'll answer where I can. Yeah, networks, to everyone listening, networks are important, guys. There's nothing, especially for us as again, I'll go back to Tineswe Loxion, and as Black entrepreneurs. Remember, we come from different households and backgrounds, and capacities are not the same. You get other people where it goes to Ubaba or a rich uncle who's wealthy. I've got this thing, I need funding, investment. And they can make it instant. They can make a miracle. So our disadvantage of most of us young Black entrepreneurs, we come from humble beginnings. We come from household, one or two. So when for us to get somewhere today, we start with what government is open for us. So I am going to mention government because we are where we are because of government. I remember when you walked into NYDA. I'll never forget one of our business advisors there. I forgot his name, the gentleman. When he saw the product, we haven't even changed the brand now, the name of the way it looks, the new design. It was like, wow, guys, don't ever compromise. You're carrying something brilliant. He believed, at first he believed that, guys, you're gonna go far, So networking, we have stakeholders, as Ismail has mentioned, CEDA, they've tested our juice, SEBs, go to SEBs alone, you're going to spend an arm and a leg. We've got 4 products which have been tested there. The brands, food and change, that's why it took time. Everything I'm wearing, we got this from GP, our gear. Halal certification. For us to get a COA, we are housed at a co-working space in Lens, through government, through City of Joburg, it's an initiative for us because right now, obviously, as startups affording rent, you need to make sure that you're pushing volumes, and you've really commercialized and all have small beginnings. So it is what looks like it's small that is playing a huge role, in closing the gaps, to building the whole operation. I can talk on, but let me just mention the most important things which we have been helped with thus far. We have received funding for equipment for machine of a juice mixing machine. We got that from NYDA, So it is the network, it is the people, knowledge, power, training, the trainings that we have. As today I'm sitting at class in Manda, I've learned so much about quality control. Today I can tell you, I can give you with the hassle what that means because of Sismanda, I didn't even know what that meant, quality control, what is my value chain? I've learned something like that, the SOP, started operating procedure, then I did in the company, to make sure that it's kept as a harbor. If we don't do such things, and all of this came without me, going into a business school or sitting by a Tiger brand. This comes from me, the journey I've walked. No, please, entrepreneur, if you are listening, come and knock. There is no such thing government akasebenzi. We are where we are. Yes, we are still going there. But everything today that we are, Loxion fruits, the way it looks from the bottling, the packaging, everything, it has been helping. Government has helped us, it has pushed us to where we are. I don't want to lie, with the halal certifications, the COA, we are about to even do bigger exploits, because of the opportunities that government has helped us with. I don't want to lie to you, we've got applications sitting over ITC, simele ukuthi by God's grace uphuma ama-truck aphuma imishina, So guys, I don't want to lie to you. Network is very important, and going to stakeholders, and one thing they do, there's always access to marketing opportunity, because you get to be invited to a exhibition, a conventional center. You meet a buyer, you can pay a shop right. There is opportunity. You won't walk into that person but they open up these channels about DTIC. So I'll mention them because it is what they've done for us. So I want people to know as well about Arsita. It was through Arsita that we were able to get the halal certificate. We're given a grant after doing training every 3 months. We use that money to apply for a halal certification. Today we have it. Today we have an application in. Today we just sent samples into, I think, 2 mainstreams. These big retailers. I don't want to mention them by name, but right now with this where we are sitting at. So soon we're going to small and heavy retailers and big retailers.
Yeah. No, I like that. I like the passion, Doc. I don't know about you. I like the passion in his voice. You can see Uyahereza, but I particularly like the name that he gave to the government. We'll send this clip definitely to our government networks. Umkavava. I like that. So, Doc, I mean, what's your take on what Patrick has just told us now?
No, I'm just loving it. I could just let him talk and talk and talk because I'm so inspired by this story, but I'm just inspired by the passion and everything. But I think because we know, Amanda, we do a lot of mentoring and coaching and all that. It's one thing to mentor someone, but it's another thing to get somebody like Patrick and his partner to take that mentorship seriously and do something out of it. And I think it's a two-way stream. It's a two-way stream. I always say when we talk about emancipation and empowerment, I always say there is always a difference between empowerment and emancipation. Empowerment is to give somebody power or to give somebody space. But the ability to use that power and the ability to take that space, it's something that comes from within. And I think that is what I see. You have been given the space, but you took that space and make something out of it. And I think for me, that's what stands out from many, many people that, get, they get, mentored and they don't, get anywhere. I'm loving that. DJ Messi, I want to see, I know we have more pictures. I think there were some pictures where I know these things are on the shelves and things like that. Because for me, I just looked at it. I'm like, no, I can't believe that this has been done by somebody who looks like me, and looking at you, and it just makes me so proud. And if every young person will take, any opportunity that is being given to them, this country has, I have hope in the country. DJ Messi, may you please show us more pictures? Okay. Okay, so yeah, there we go. Are you able to see? Let's see. There we go. Patrick, are you able to see what is there? Take us through. Yes, how many brands? I mean, how many flavors do you have? Take us through. I mean, the brand itself. I mean, I'm looking at it, I'm like, no, this is really top class. It's really,
Yeah, no, thank you very much. No, really, really, really deeply humbled, by the fact that you actually liking what you see, and then your words of encouragement, they are a pillar of strength, So there are days in entrepreneurship, you feel like, I don't want to wake up, But when you read something positive and people tell you keep going, really, it's strength. You know, it's like imotapele petrol and you're refueled. You know, because like yo, I don't want to disappoint the people who are looking at us. You know, when we make it, they make it. You know, the youngsters who are coming up. You know, so yeah. So right now, currently, we have 7 delicious flavors. So we have cranberry. That's the fastest moving line. I think that's what brings in the orders. You know, and then we have mango, we've got tropical, we've got orange, we've got guava, we've got fruits and vitamins. We're also looking into going into a long life. So we want to do like this 6-pack yabantwana, you know, with capacity when the time comes. We want to, it's another market, you know, it's another good market because we do get a lot of questions. You know, so we want to do the long life pack yabantwana. We also want to release more flavors, other variants, you know, like lychee, you know, cozining, there's pineapple, there's prognamant, you know. So yeah, you know, and inside the brand itself, I'm sure that with Lungelo, we're looking into opening other lines. Dairy, like we can even have like a dairy mix here. Right now, we're just sitting on the 100% fruit juice. So we just want to position it well so people can know it. But along the line, we just want to stream it, you know, and just grow the brand to be bigger before we venture into something else.
Look at that. Look at that. I mean, your brand is competing with, you know, other brands there. Wow. I'm so impressed. I'm really so where can people find, you know, this brand? Because I'm looking at I have to look, you know, in the supermarket close to mine. I wanna go and take, you know, where
For now, because we still push, as I was saying earlier on, Guti, we've been in I'll even mention it anyways because we are on the program. So we are in talks with ShopRite, we are in talks with Boxer, also in a spa. So hopefully, I by God pushing us as well, I hope by December we can be able to outsource it Gauteng as a whole. You know, but for now, for especially because I know in Gauteng we are in different vicinities and areas. So you can get on Facebook on Loxion Foods Beverages and you know just throw us a message, you know, on there. Or I'll also give my telephone numbers for people who cannot reach to. So the stores we have, I think we have over 13 stores. So it's more in between the south and in the CBD because the CBD, say Meat Express, there are 2 Meat Expresses that we are occupying. There's a discount food store again inside of the CBD, as well as Gandhi Spa. And then in Soweto, Sisepara, Snewatlu, we've got there's a wholesaler, Bambanani wholesaler. We've got a spa at Thompsonville, but I think that was converted into a Boxer. Yeah, we've got also I think a restaurant somewhere, a Protea. So yeah, and then in Midrand, where we have a Bread Box Bakery in Midrand, there's a Santa Lapaya. It's also there. It's supplied there. So yeah, here it's a spa, biggest spa at Thompsonville, this picture there. So, but for other people, you know, when they get maybe say Vaal, say Pitori, we do deliveries, so you can just throw us an inbox, a message on our Facebook, Loxion Foods Beverages. So then we can be able to attend to you, just order, and we can make sure that we get the juice to you. But also as well, there's a program that we are on. We are about to also get online. That will take a lot. I know in Macro now we are registered with it. We just had a bit of things we had to sort out. Macro online will also going to be on that platform as well soon.
Okay. I know Mandla might have, you know, some things to comment about. But before she does that, you mentioned something about registering this and all that. And I want people to understand that in most cases, when somebody from a Loxion, you know, like you and me, it's doing something, it's producing something, the general perception out there is to say, oh, no, this is not, you know, good quality. This is, you know, the kind of things that we put. But you spoke about how do you adhere to that quality assurance, because you spoke about it a bit, so that, you know, people can be assured to say, you know what, yes, somebody can be produced by somebody who looks like Patrick, and this could also be high quality that, you know, competes, you know, with other other
Yeah.
supermarkets and things like that. Just take us through that, because I'm looking at that. I'm seeing quality. I'm seeing quality.
Quality.
I feel that we are changing the narrative to say, yes, can see this good quality and link it to a person who look like me.
Yes. Okay, first of all, before I go to what the Mrs. Manda make us do, there is a fundamental key of quality assurance. But firstly, from a very personal view of a person, I believe our Mundu most tanda. No, there are some things you should not compromise. When you walk into chicken digging and you're spending your money, you are expecting good you get value for your money. So you as a person as well, I believe you must be a perfectionist, in crafting whatever you want to bring, your offering, you cannot say iti or choose, and you just throw it out there, you don't take care of it. So vision is very important. When you look at once you're holding your product and you vision yourself, it's like who's tanda, and who's tanda, and when you walk in the street, people are complimenting you. So should it be with what you're offering, So you gotta make sure. I remember when we're designing the Loxion Foods, the brand, the look. I'm sure the guy was designing it. I change it at 5 until we got to perfect with it. Now this is gonna attract people. So I'm just starting with the outer appearance, You gotta be perfectionist. Other things you cannot compromise, That's why I don't believe in feeling sorry, because our people in Tamyama, you get such comments. But the look is very important. When you go into a fridge and you grab that liquid fruit, you give a crush, you're attracted to it. So why should you not also give the same quality standard? Let's start with appearance, And then secondly, we go into your compliance. The industry we are in is very, very, very key. It is important, it's crucial that you comply, something basic like a COA, you need to make sure that you qualify, you're able to get a COA. It doesn't matter where you operate, you take care of the environment that you are in, the space. You listen, you make sure, as they mentioned this month, that you hear good to a there's food grade products that you need to use for cleaning and not detergent, like I want to mind you, but you're selling something to customers and people react differently. You got to make sure that you give them the quality. So compliance is very important. You make sure good, when you find means, you get your COA, your place wherever you are operating from is compliant. It's accredited. You make sure good. When the means come in, you take the product, let it be tested, Finally, it's not just SEBS, test your product, because this thing is SEBS tested, I can prove it, it's got results, I mean, when we walk up to the big guys, you go, the manager want to say, SPAR, you need to tell him, no, this thing in the COA, it's been SEBS tested, I've got your results, I've got everything, now my paper arm. Now the starts saying, oh, okay, I've got he was going to use one of the officers, because they did through agriculture, testing your corner, they've got the certification of your compliance. You are going to see this is what you have achieved. You've got the halal certification. So you show them that this is a high quality juice. It's been tested in serious labs, And then I taste that now. I was with no man. It's got its testing, it's compliant, So it's ready. It's ready to be consumed and used. So yeah, in a nutshell,
Love it. I love it.
Wow.
I just love it.
Wow. So, Doc, this is really very inspiring. The show is called The African Experience because this is where we are sharing our stories in our own way. And this is where we are changing the narrative of how Africa and its people are being seen. Now we even zoning it even deeper, saying this is how we're changing the narrative as to how people coming from Amalogishe are being seen. We are associated with not knowing what we are doing. But now Loxion Fruits and Beverages is telling us now today that no, izinto zishintshile manje. We know about compliance. We know about branding. We know about the red tape. We know about this industry that we are now wanting to be part in. And now all I want to say to everyone listening to the show today. Let's go out. Let's go and support our own. Because in the food business, Doc, the fact is it's a game of numbers. It's a numbers game. So if we don't push volumes, you can have the most brilliant and high quality product. It will remain just that. So this is me now talking to our network partners. Please reach out to Loxion Fruit Beverages. Get on their social media profiles, inbox them, DM them, ask them for their details, support them. You know, government entities in all our catering units, let us buy our own products. You know, the NYDAs that are buying you the machinery, those are our customers. You know, Doc, as we were talking in the other workshop, government is our biggest customer for SMMEs in particular. So now, we are going to circulate this clip, and I know something will come, something will give. So, Doc, from my side, honestly, I'm just humbled and I'm just inspired to even work harder, because more people, we want to hear more stories, as more people as we can to come and talk about these stories, changing the narrative of what Black South Africa is doing, the better. So no, thank you so much, Patrick, for coming to the show and talking to us. Yeah, Doc, you can take over. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I really agree with you. I'm actually, I don't know, shocked, not shocked in a positive way, you know, shocked in a positive way, because this is very inspiring. It's very inspiring. I'm sitting here and I'm looking forward, you know, to that, you know. And you spoke about, you know, there are caterers. I mean, in anywhere we go, we are drinking juice and things like that. I will drink, you know, juice like that and feel proud, because the branding, and you are telling the story, the quality assurance that you go through and all that. And I would like to encourage you to do that as you tell your story. You know, your story for the Loxion is one thing, but tell the story of, you know, the quality assurance, because a lot of, you know, perceptions around the products that are produced by an African or Black person, you know, the perception is that, you know, it cannot be of good quality. So I would like you to include that quality assurance as part of your story, so that when somebody looks at the product, they know that, you know, there has been checks and balances, this thing is tested and all that, because it will really take you far. Having said that, where do you see yourself? I mean, what is your vision? You know, I know Lungelo is not here, and as partners, what is your vision? Where do you see yourself? Yes.
Wow. Okay. Wow. I believe our vision today, you know, firstly with Loxion Foods, the brand, as I said, it was our first offering, you know, we wanted to see it in the short interim. It must be accessible from here to Cape to Cairo. We wanted to go national starting point, you know. Just to mention also, we're quite blessed. We're fortunate. I think in last week we were organized by the Department of Agriculture, Gauteng. We had on site a SEBS officer, an auditor. So they were auditing us. So we are waiting on the results in 2021. Obviously, you know, even if it's negative, we'll take what we need to take from them and fix what needs to be fixed to make sure that we're quite compliant with them and their standards. That so one day not we can also have like a ISO
ISO 22,000.
So we can also be a Posha N, you know, we can go national, we can go international to our brothers and sisters in Africa, and one day be global. You know, this brand, for me, I always say, Lungele, we are global. This thing is going global. You know, watch this space. You know, one day, but I keep advertise it, you know, but as well on top of that, so life impact for short for LIB Foods as a company and an entity, as we said, we're a food company. So a part of our business model is not just only be in an operations where we manufacture everything. So we're looking forward to working with other entrepreneurs down the road. You know, Muntu was producing someone who can produce tin cans, so we can be able to have a procurement system where we can have a procurement and a licensing and a distribution, because a part of our manufacturing, we want also have a distribution armor inside of the company. So where we can also share, with our other brothers and sisters who know how to manufacture, but who cannot take this thing to retail, to FMCG, into mainstream, when once we have access to such retailing and access to markets, we don't looking into manufacturing everything. So we want to work with other Black entrepreneurs who are up and coming. As long as they are compliant, they've got their paperwork, we can be able to, procure from them, redistribute these products, because I say we cannot manufacture everything. We're a food company, food manufacturing brand entity, so we're looking into working with other brothers and sisters so we can grow, and not share in the pie, do what others have been doing for generations. We can also do it. Nothing is stopping us. So I think that is us in the long term. Be at a space where we just flood the market, mainstream with all these fast moving lines. We've got Nyazo Khunzi was there. We want to procure each another Khunzi, it's now what's up on my we want to procure that product as well. Share in the market, and we work together. That's how we can build each other as Black people and gain great jobs and employment. We've got youngsters sitting at varsity who are good in marketing, who are good in TikTok, I'm at design, sales figure, people who are good experts in sales, logistics, operations. So we just want to be at that level where we can also play a role and inspire people and change lives, especially in the Black community, and create jobs.
I love that. You're already doing that. I'm standing here. I feel so inspired already. I feel so inspired. And if I feel so inspired, I can imagine somebody who's listening out there. So if there's somebody, a young person who's listening to this show, and
Yes.
what is it that you can actually say to that young person from a rural area somewhere? What is the message that you have for them, or even from somebody from a Loxion?
Okay. What I can say to anyone who's listening right now, who's looking into being an entrepreneur, someone once said to me, your vision is the ability to see things other people cannot see. God has given you something which is yours. So you as a person, don't be afraid to start. Whatever it is, start. Start scrappy. Start by falling. Start by failing. Fail well as it is, but start. Don't worry about being labeled weak. Worry about getting it right, first and foremost. And, whatever you have, find yourself in each market, find a corner, find a place where you can offer this to someone, and saying, that's how you find customers, direct marketing, word of mouth, go into the spaces, for order, tell them that I'm carrying into so. And most importantly, customer service is key. There's nothing new under the sun. Not we are doing something which already exists. Nothing is new, but how you treat your customer, it will play a big role. And last and most importantly, never ever give up. Don't ever give up. Nothing comes out from giving up but being a failure. The greatest failure is someone is giving up. We fall 10, 20 times, but most importantly, we get up, we go try again. So we have people who will help us, who are with us, who are leading us along the way. So never ever give up in what you do. Sonke sizofika to the business promised land.
Wow. You are such a motivational speaker. Do you do that? Do you do that? Do you do motivational?
Sometimes something. So I think that's where it comes from.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, Mandla. I'm just thinking, Patrick. Perhaps that is something that you have to pursue as well, because you are. I'm captivated. You are talking. I'm captivated. Pursue that because you do have a talent. You really have a talent. So you combine this business and do motivational speaking. I could pay money to go and listen to you speak and be inspired. I'm captivated. Yep.
No, thank you, doctor. Thank you. That means a lot. I think Mrs. Smart must connect me. Yes, you put my connection. You must connect here and I'm such. Connect me to some speakers. So thank you very much. Really, really appreciate it. Now look at you, doctor. It means a lot.
Oh wow, this has been
We have to connect your crew and your team to the CFS. Absolutely. We need to
100%.
Yeah.
Hey, manje ngengilali bazongihlupha, but anyway, it's It has been an awesome show. You know, I could have just listened to the conversation between you and my beautiful co-host, Dr. Hlami Ngwenya. You telling your story, narrated so well. It's brilliant. And you know,
Wow.
what I want to know before we go, you know, this hour, you think it's long, but when you're having a good time on this show, you go and you go. By the time you look at the watch, it's now only 5 minutes left. So we did not even ask, being a hard worker that you are, being a focused and visionary guy that you are, being the entrepreneur that you are, what do you do to relax? How do you tone it down? You know, they say entrepreneurs do not sleep. So how do you relate? Because we need to have a balance as well. How do you do that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've never said this, and I don't really put. To tell you the truth, Ismail, me, I'm a reader. Hey, I like reading. You know, I won't lie to you. I relax, and I think, especially when there are seasons. There are times. I didn't even mention it. There are times earlier, hey, things were spiraling out of order for us. No longer entrepreneurship, is an up and down journey. So there are times, akangani into shamamoda. You calculated with time. I need the next thing we have no stop, we have nothing. So I think what is my pillar. And I read from people like us. I've read from Mabo Richard Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I love reading entrepreneurial books. Books that inspire. I will think and grow rich. I think it gives us the strength. That motivation to keep going. I do watch TV when there's time. Business TV. But I think most importantly, as an entrepreneur, always find yourself in a space where you can read everything. You read inventory management, read about the izinto lezi sifunda esasenza isimanje nasepasword, quality control, communications. It shocking it because tomorrow one day you never know. Most importantly, here's a factor. Dr. Nyazi, because remember what in the Bible, the visionary Joseph, when Joseph was in the prison, he was in preparation. When the time came and Pharaoh requested a certain man, when they brought him to Pharaoh, he was going into royalty. He was going into another dimension he does not know. So I believe God had prepared him because he took off his prison garments, he cleaned up. And when he got there, if you remember the story, he gave Pharaoh a full business plan of how they're going to fight famine and how Pharaoh can still make wealth. So one day you sit with investors, billionaires like the and they're speaking a jargon that you don't even know. You gotta be ready. You cannot be found yourself, wanting. I believe as entrepreneurs as well, especially if we don't have postgraduate degrees. I don't have a degree, but I like walking. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention. I like walking. I like going and listening to what God is saying. So I love to read, and it's preparation. Your preparation, because once you relax, but you prepare. When you read a lot, you get inspired. You read books on declarations, and that's how the universe will open up and things will start happening. So that's where my relaxation comes from, reading books.
Thank you.
Though I don't look like I read books.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. You know what? I felt so inspired. I'm just inspired by this conversation and really, and I also like the fact that you are so deep. You're really deep.
Oh yeah.
You are spiritual, you are deep, and you know what? I can only just say, may God bless your journey ahead.
Oh, wow. Thank
That's
you.
what I
Thank
can
you.
say. May God bless your journey ahead and expand your territory. Honestly,
I see. Thank
I
you
don't
so
know.
much.
But anyway,
Humble.
yes, we only have 1 minute to go. I felt so inspired, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you felt as inspired as I felt today. This is the African experience, and this is what this show is all about. It is about telling an African story, the story that is told by an African who's pushing boundaries. We are helping, to change that narrative that you can see an African as mediocre and things like that. Yeah, you have an African who's very quality driven and producing, something that is really good quality, and go out there and support, the brands that, Patrick and Lungelo it's doing. Thank you so much, DJ Messi, who's our technical producer. And thank you so, so much, Mandla, for contributing, to this journey of, these entrepreneurs. Ladies and gentlemen, next week, we are bringing yet another dynamic young lady who's doing something. We're not going to tell you what it is, but you'll feel so inspired. You'll feel so inspired. Let's meet again next week, same time, same place. This is the African
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Much and God bless.
Bye.
Bye.